Alright, so you guys have been asking for it. I went ahead and I brought the Nishiki out to the bike trails today. I'm trying to get Dad to ride it, so hopefully he rides it here in a second. He's trying to buy some time. But I'm like, man, just ride it. You're hydrated, you know, we're starting to cloud up a little bit. Ride it. That's what the people want. That's what the people are going to get.
Oh! Oh no! Oh shit! This ain't... That's... Whoa, buddy. Oh! Oh, look at air in these damn... Oh, that seat's horrible. Oh, damn. I'm fat and I'm old, and I'd rather sit and drink or talk.
Today is we're going to be working on the Nishiki Men's Pueblo's drivetrain. We are going to be using my old FMFXTR 1x setup. We're going to be using that. We're going to throw it on this guy. So I'll be using a Decus 32 round and a regular round chainring. We're going to do away with the front Shimano tourney derailleur, and hopefully we can get the new shifter that we got, a Shimano TZ500, the 7-speed. Hopefully we can use this guy and get this guy shifting right on the Nishiki. Now, it's going to be kind of a problem because if you guys remember in the latest videos on the Nishiki, it has the twist shifters, right? And the twist shifters, luckily, they are the type that are separate from the brakes, the brake lever. Some of them are all one unit. We can take those twist shifters off, and I'm hoping on using the same housing that they did for when they ran their back derailleur. But like I said, we're going to do away with the front derailleur. We're going to do away with the big old heavy crankset here. Another thing we're going to be doing, since we are taking off the twist shifters, I bought these a while back at Walmart. And these Snafu, they're lock-on grips, so hopefully that'll be pretty good, and we can make this work as well. We weighed this bike in before, and I think it was 35 something. I'll show it up on the screen. It was 35 pounds. We'll do an after. We're going to see how much weight we can take off of it. Let's go ahead and get started on this. It's going to be a fun little project. Like I said, the bike weighed 35 something beforehand, and hopefully we can lighten it up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to attack is I'm going to take off the front derailleur. So a question I get a lot whenever it comes to derailleurs, front derailleurs mainly, is people have a problem. They say, well, I can get to the back clamp, but I can't, I don't know how to take it apart. So there's two things I recommend. One, you can break the chain. If you have that little quick connect piece, I don't have one here. If you have that little quick connect piece, you can break your chain, pull the chain out, and then of course you can detach it from the derailleur. But in this case, what I'm going to do, and this is what I normally do on front derailleurs, so you can see right here in this area, obviously that's what's keeping it together, and that's a rivet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a cheap drill, and we're going to drill bit, and we're just going to route it out or waller it out a little bit, and we're going to cut that rivet. Basically, just keep on moving that drill, and we're going to unpop that rivet. And what's nice about just unpopping this rivet, if you ever want to use this again, all you have to do is just have a rivet gun, and you can fix it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to taking off that front twist shifter, see if that'll work. Out there has any comments on a better way to take grips off, or a better way that you know how to do this, let me know. Put it in the comments below, and I'd appreciate it, because I'm sure we'll definitely have more projects here in the future of taking these guys off. So I'm going to cut the cable on the rear derailleur, because remember, we still have to use the housing. So I'm going to cut it, pull the cable through. Okay, so we're going to take that out. We're going to keep it the bottom bracket, I think. We're going to do that, and then we'll put the new arms and stuff on there and see how that goes. I got a new tool. This is a crank puller, right? You insert this side here into the crank arm. But we have to get this 15 mil out first. Good. Okay. So I worked up a sweat, but I finally got the crank arms off. This tool's really nice, by the way. It will be featured in the budget $60 budget tools video. I'm sure it's coming up. That and then some other accessories I'm going to be doing to the GT Aggressor Pro. Anyway, I got those off, and again, I'm not going to be changing out this bottom bracket. I think this one's fine. I don't know if there's really a need to change that out. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like there's any bearings in there. It feels kind of raw. Let me see how hard it is to take that cap off, and we might change it out. This guy right here just doesn't sound like there's any bearings or nothing in there. I already unscrewed this side. That was like a very cheap looking bottom bracket. I'm glad I'm changing this out. Look at this up. I've never seen something like this. It's crazy, man. You know, that's what was in there. That's nuts. Let's hope this old one works. This is from my first upgrade on the GT Aggressor Pro, my 1x. It's a little rusty, but it'll be way better than what was in there. And it's just nice and smooth still. So this will be good as opposed to those ball bearings. Alright, so we got the spacer put on this side. The other side is decently flush. I'm not going to worry about it too much. You can't put a spacer on there because there's no shoulder for it to rest on. Okay, now that is nice and smooth. Good, good. Okay, alright, so we've got the quick shifters taken off. We've got the whole bottom bracket cartridge taken off. And I wasn't going to change it, remember, but ended up that one was terrible. This right here is just buttery smooth now. So put the grips on, put the shifter where it needs to be. We'll probably tighten up the shifter, get him kind of in there somewhat, and then we're going to go ahead and put the crank arms on there and put the new chain ring, and I think we'll go ahead and be done with this project. Now the crankset I'm using is that Action FMFXTR crankset that I used to have on my GT Aggressor Pro. Now this is the arm that got messed up. So one thing that I did was it got a little wonky on the other side when it hit that bottom bracket, and if you can see there, here and here where it kind of got wallered out before, what I did was I took a grinder to it and ground off all that excess material that was right there, because they're definitely thick enough. So I figured if I ground off some of that where it got a little wonky, I would still be able to use it, and I think it'll be fine. Like I said, this bike isn't be crazy jumping and all that, but this little Action crankset, you guys can pick it up for I think it's like $48, $42, something like that. I don't have any pedals for this thing yet, but look how much better it looks if you can see that with the 1x on there, and it works nice and smooth. So what's left to do is the shifter's already mounted, the handles are already mounted, or the grips are already mounted. I ran the shifter cable all the way through, so I'm just going to put this chain on there, and I didn't do anything to the derailleur as far as adjustments went. I just unhooked the cable out from it, so maybe it'll still be in tune. I don't know. Let's go ahead and tighten this up, and then we'll kind of go from there and see. I mean, it's not terrible. See how that did. Alright guys, well, there you have it. We now have the Snafu grips on there, kept with the same Churney derailleur, and that's a Churney shifter as well. And the FMFXTR crankset. Well, I guess it's the whole set now. And then the Decus wide, narrow chain ring. And remember, we're still going to have to go back and cut this chain down probably, just so we can tighten up on some of that slack, because that's pretty bad. Remember what it did out in the trails that day when I took it for the test drive. But anyway, well, I guess all I have to do is throw some pedals on this guy, and then I can't believe it works so smooth. Simple things, there's just something to it. But we'll probably definitely be doing an upgrade video on this guy, because I'm going to put some pedals on it, and we're going to go from there. But as always, man, thank you so much for watching Wolf Tick videos, and hopefully you guys got something out of this if you have this bike, and if you don't, we just made it a 1x.
Wolf Tick videos, like and subscribe.
Oh, there he is.
It needs some adjustments.
Yeah, it does.
Or something. Oh, finally quit.
Oh, yeah. Was that the front derailleur?
Huh?
Was that the front derailleur?
Oh, the rear.